Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are LA.
Halos had a nice off day yesterday. They traveled to the Bay Area. They will be here for the entire week. Tonight we will kick off a 3-game set against the division rival Oakland Athletics from the O.Co Coliseum. From inside the Coliseum, we welcome you back to Angels Baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas. And before we get to tonight's ball game, of course, there was news made yesterday that Texas Rangers reacquiring Josh Hamilton to trade with the Angels. So at least that has been put to bed, and now you can focus the rest of the season, anyways, on this ball club right now. And going back to the field, tonight we got a pretty good pitching matchup. Jared Weaver going up against Sonny Gray.
Yeah, Victor, these are two of the best right-handed pitchers in the American League. And take a look at our AT&T rewind. You're going to see what they did last week against each other. Great breaking balls, curveballs, be able to throw for strikes, fastball command there for both pitchers. Very tight matchup between the two of them before Weave left that game, and then eventually the game got away from the Angels, and Sonny Gray was able to pick up the victory. But both have outstanding career numbers against their opponent because they're able to throw their breaking ball for strikes. Their changeup's outstanding, fastball command very good themselves. Both ERAs around 2.5 or less for both of them, so they've been around the strike zone. They've been able to do extremely well against their opponents.
The Angels had a pretty good homestand. Unfortunately, they lost on Sunday, but they took 2 of 3 against the Texas Rangers, while the Oakland A's struggled a little bit against the Houston Astros. So we'll see what we have in store tonight between these two ball clubs. We're just about ready for baseball here in Oakland. Sit back and relax. We're going to bring you the lineups and the first pitch when we return. Angels Baseball is brought to you by CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. Start here. And by Jack in the Box. Jack's hottest sandwich is back. Head to Jack in the Box for Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich. Enjoy better. Call 1-855-1-TWC. and by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Beautiful night for baseball here in the Bay Area, although a little chilly here in Oakland as the Angels and the Athletics get ready to tee it up for game 1 of a 3-game series. They split a 4-game set at the Big A just last week, so that you hope that the Angels can kind of carry over what they did last week in the homestand into this series against Oakland. Now, Oakland also had an off day yesterday. They had a chance to kind of decompress after being swept by the Houston Astros.
Yeah, and they had a number of those games. They had a chance to win games. They lost them late, which was unusual for Oakland. Their bullpen has struggled this year.
Well, Sonny Gray has thrown the ball well against the Angels. He is on the mound, and we will take a look at manager Mike Scioscia's starting lineup for the Halos with the loss on Sunday, now 9-10 on the season. That they are 5-4 out on the road. Cole Calhoun will lead things off and play right. Mike Trout at center. Albert Pujols at first. David Freese, the cleanup hitter at third base. Eric Ibar, the shortstop. Matt Joyce in left. C.J. Cron is the DH. Drew Butera is doing the catching. And Johnny Giavotella batting ninth and playing second base. Taking on the Tennessee native, that is Sonny Gray, who comes into this one with a 2-0 record.
Very good ERA also. Fastball is 91-96. Good slider, very good curveball and changeup. But the keys, the go-tos to be able to get some runs against him, especially early, is bring that fastball up. His fastball generally at the knees, very difficult to track and hit hard, and avoid those curveball counts. When he's ahead of the count, he can finish off with his curveball, and he can throw that for a strike.
Let's check out the A's defensively behind Sonny Gray. It's Gentry, Fold, and Reddick in the outfield from left to right. The infield has Laurie, Simeon, Sogard, and Davis from third to first, and both behind the plate.
And so often we see Gentry out in center field, but playing left field. He's committed 2 errors in 63 games career-wise in the outfield. He covers a lot of ground. Basically a center fielder playing that left field position. Pretty good throwing arm. Also, 1 outfield assist so far this year.
Oakland has had some pretty good issues this year defensively. They have committed 20 errors on the season. Their bullpen has been shaky. That's why they stand right now at 8-12 after being swept by the Astros. But when it comes to these two teams, it always just seems like they're going to, it's like a heavyweight fight. Punch, counter punch, and it always seems to be a tight ball game.
And
unless one team ends up running away, but those are few and far between.
Yeah, it always seems to be decided late. So this game will be tight probably till towards the end of the game as usual when these two teams, especially with these two pitchers on the mound tonight.
First one tonight is in there for a strike. Angel Hernandez calling the balls and strikes tonight. Scott Berry at first. Ted Barrett, the crew chief, at second. And Chris Conroy umpiring at third. So the numbers for Cole Calhoun, a .328 average, 3 home runs, 10 runs batted in. Now it misses outside to even a count. Over the last 12 games, Cole able to raise that overall batting average to .328 because he's hit 400 in those last 12.
He's had a tough time in his career against Gray, though. It was 2 for 18.
2 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, there aren't too many guys that have had good numbers against Sonny Gray. Eric Ibar, maybe David Freese. But for Freese, obviously, it's 11 at-bats. 2-1 now. That's down low. 3 balls and a strike. The last time Gray faced the Angels was last Wednesday on the 22nd. Went 7 innings, allowed 1 run on just 2 hits, 7 strikeouts, and 2 walks.
And when you look at that windup from Sonny Gray, almost looks as if he's in the stretch position right away.
Full count. Remember, in that start too is that 3rd inning in which the Angels had the bases loaded with 1 out. But then Gray ended up retiring the next 14 straight.
Yeah, the good ones you have to get him when he's struggling on the mound.
That is ball 4. Leadoff walk for Sonny Gray. Puts a man on for Mike Trout.
Hyundai key for this game, since we're up in the Bay Area going with Metallica. Nothing else matters. The bottom line is, any way you can score a run against Sonny Gray, you got to find a way to do so, whether it's a long ball or manufacturing a run, whatever it takes to give Weave a little bit of a lead and let the bullpen hold this one late. It should be a very good one. So whatever way you can get that run across, so important, especially early in the game.
Yeah, Metallica night, what, Saturday?
Yes.
Against the Giants.
Getting ready.
At AT&T Park. Here's Trout. Cole off to a pretty good lead. The first one is down low.
So far doing a good job of laying off that fastball down. It has movement at 94.
Also never easy to face a team, the same team, in back-to-back starts either.
You know, especially when you have a real good game against that team. Try to make adjustments. Sometimes the pitcher feels you have to make adjustments yourself.
John hitting .318, 4 home runs, 11 runs batted in. Has 3 doubles as well. Fouls that one back. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Angels out on the road, mentioned a 5-4 record. As a team, they've hit .227 on the road. Team that has yet to get it going offensively, although they did rack out 15 hits in Sunday's loss against Texas. 11-inning loss.
And when you see from Oakland, a lot against Trout, a lot of fastballs in. Although Trout has hit some home runs here in Oakland, 9 in his career, including 2 off of Sonny Gray.
Good numbers for Gray here in this ballpark. Brief big league career. And that is sky to center. Not very deep. Sogard goes out there, the second baseman. Sam Fuld calls him off. There's the first down of the game. Calhoun remains at first, and Albert coming to the plate.
And Trout a little upset with himself from that one. Chased a fastball in the upper part of the strike zone.
Albert hitting an even 200 with 3 home runs and 9 runs batted in. A couple of hits Sunday with a single and a double. Double his 3rd. Pulls this one toward the hole, and it's off the glove of Simeon. Calhoun keeps on running, nobody covering at 3rd. And so good heads-up base running by Cole Calhoun. They throw back at first, and a nice dig by Davis. So a seeing eye single for Albert puts runners at first and 3rd with 1 out here, and David Freese coming up.
I really like what Cole Calhoun did. You got to take chances. Mentioned that against a guy like Sonny Gray with the success. He runs that fastball in off the plate. Albert got his hands inside the baseball just enough to get it off the glove of Simeon into the outfield. But Calhoun taking that chance. See that ball rolling in the outfield. Now at 3rd base, an opportunity for the Angels to score here in the 1st inning.
Freese, the cleanup hitter, went hitless, 0 for 6 Sunday, dropping his average to .216. Lays off, and it's a strike on the outside corner. He's got decent numbers against Sonny Gray, 3 for 11. One of those hits a double. Calhoun standing at 3rd base. Pujols at first. Top of the 1st with no score. 1 ball, 1 strike. 27th start in his brief big league career for Sonny Gray here in this ballpark. 12-8. 2.95 ERA. 148 punch outs in 171 innings. Okay, good stuff.
It's a very good pitcher's yard too, especially at night.
Foul at the plate.
That's his pitch right there to do damage. Now you're behind. We talked about avoiding those curveball counts. David Freese may see a curveball now from Sonny Gray.
Gray was tough against the Angels in that start last Wednesday with men in scoring position. Now it gets away from Vogt. That'll allow Albert to get to second.
Good read by Albert. Important because now you avoided that ground ball double play potentially. Not far enough for Calhoun to advance, but Albert read it well. Off the body of Stephen Vogt. Secondary lead, reads that ball in the dirt, and he's going right away. Advances on a wild pitch.
Yeah, with Vogt, you will take advantage as much as possible against him. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 in scoring position. Freese shoots one out towards center field. That'll get down for a hit. Calhoun will score. Albert being waved in. Here comes a throw from Sam Fuld. It is cut off by Vogt. He throws down to second. Freese is gunned down, but the Angels have themselves a 2-0 lead.
With some real good aggressive base running by Pujols, and Gary DiSarcina again taking that chance on a nice piece of hitting by David Freese, using that middle part of the field. Fought off a pretty tough pitch. Good location. It was a breaking ball down, but went down and got it. Hit it up the middle, didn't try to pull it. Ends up getting a base hit. Drives in two important runs for the Angels and for Weaver. Eventually thrown out there on an 8-2-6 play at second base.
Bouncer right back to Gray. Bobbles at first, second, but they'll retire Ibar. The Angels are done here in the first, but they strike for 2 runs as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Jared Weaver, the Halos, leading at 2-0. The 3-hole Billy Butler, the DH and cleanup hitter. Ike Davis at first, Josh Reddick at right, Brett Laurie was third baseman, Eric Sogard at second. It's Craig Gentry getting to start out in left field, and he will bat 9. Taking it on Weaver, still looking for that first win of the season.
Yeah, last time out for Weaver, though, much better. That was against Oakland. ERA over 5, but no walks so far this year, which is important for Weaver. But the keys for Weaver to be successful: use that large part of the field, use that left center, right center, and work ahead all night, and then finish with the breaking ball.
First pitch is in for a strike. Weaver 0-2 and a 5.24 ERA. 3 earned runs in his last 2 starts combined. Just misses low, and that was against Houston and Oakland. Total of 12 innings after 2 rough outings to start the year. This is obviously start number 5 for him. Cole reaches for this one, sends it out to right field where Cole Calhoun is standing. There's the first out of the bottom of the first. Let's check out the Halos defensively. Matt Joyce in left, Mike Trout at center, Cole Calhoun in right, and we just saw the birthday boy David Freese at third, Eric Ibar at short, Johnny Giavitello at second, Albert Pujols at first, and Drew Butera gets his start tonight behind the plate.
Butera getting that start has done a nice job as far as throwing out would-be base stealers so far. Has caught 3 of the 7 base stealers against, which is important, especially against this Oakland club. Last time out with Weaver on the mound, they stole 4 bases. It's important to have that quick catch and throw.
Marcus Semien looks at a breaking ball for a strike. Semien a .263 average with 3 home runs, 12 runs batted in. Acquired in the offseason, trade the Chicago White Sox as he cuts through the high fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You're going to swing at that high fastball on occasion as a hitter, because Weaver throws that curveball from that same spot coming in towards the plate.
Downstairs, full count. This one pulled to the left side. Ibar has it, but no play with Simeon's speed going down the line. Who goes an infield base hit.
Yeah, good range by Eric Ibar, but no chance to be able to throw out Simeon running down the line. And we'll see if Butera and Weaver combination is tested. The potential stolen base threat.
Oakland a perfect 11 for 11 in the stolen base category. Simeon has 2 of the stolen bases. They'll check on him. Stephen Vogt at the plate. Catcher hitting .345 to start the year. 4 home runs, 14 runs batted in. And the I Believe in Stephen Vogt chant going throughout the ballpark. He starts out in right field.
Definitely a fan favorite here.
No doubt.
Boy, Weaver continues to throw his curveball for strikes.
This is back up the middle. It's a base hit. Simeon will turn and head to third. The throw will go to second. So just like the Angels, 1 out. And runners at the corners here. And Billy Butler coming up.
Well, the right guy to have come up to potentially get a ground ball double play. But Vogt continues to swing the bat so well here early part of the season. .345 batting average, and swung the bat well against the Halos also. Vogt now 5 for 13 this season against the Angels. Butler even better so far, 7 for 16.
Butler gets hit by a pitch at 81 miles per hour.
Trying to go inside with a fastball, try to jam and get a ground ball, ends up hitting him in the elbow. And Butler, he's right on top of the plate. Possible for him, especially with that fastball ran in, to get out of the way.
First hit batter for Weaver. First time Butler's been hit this season. So bases loaded for Ike Davis. The first baseman in the midst of a 5-game hitting streak in which he's gone 7 for 17. His batting average at .345. There's a home run and 8 runs batted in. The first one was cut on and fouled at the plate.
And another strike with his curveball. Weaver coming in this game, so in his curveball for strikes 72.6% of the time he throws that pitch, which is outstanding.
Hales, of course, playing back at double play depth. 1 out. Simeon, good speed at third base. Vogt at second, and Butler at first. 2-0 Halos, but Oakland looking, trying to even things up here. Davis looks at a strike. 0-2. Remember the series against the Angels last week. Davis got a lot of off-speed stuff and a lot of off-balance hits as well.
Yeah, I would think maybe Matt Joyce come in a step or two from left field, especially now with Weaver ahead of the count 0-2.
It's lifted in the air, not very deep. Ibar cutting over into foul ground and will make the catch. Infield fly roll called at the last second by Chris Conroy.
And the determination is that the infielder can get back and catch that ball without going back on it, but that's a pretty tough call.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's one of those borderline ones as far as infield fly roll or not. But because Ibar was able to go that angle and cut it off, it was not going necessarily back on the ball. That's why the infield fly was called.
Yeah, the camera there got a little tighter shot of Ibar, so you didn't see Chris Conroy, the third base umpire, making that call. But there are 2 outs now. And Josh Reddick at the plate. Reddick also in a 5-game hitting streak right now. And he rips one out toward right center field, making a 6-game hitting streak. It'll tie this game up. Butler on his way to third. We're tied at 2. Reddick picks up his 9th and 10th RBIs of the season.
Yeah, Reddick off to a quick start. This breaking ball, this middle of the plate, and Reddick was able to stay back, drop the head of the battle net, and hit that ball to right center field to drive in two to tie it up.
Not what you wanted to see, especially with Sonny Gray on the other side. Here's Brett Lawrie, the third baseman, 7th man to bat in this inning. And he drives one out to deep left. That is a 3-run home run for Brett Lawrie. It is 5-2 Oakland.
Well, we know Brett Lawrie loves a fastball, especially on the inner half of the plate, and he is incredibly quick with that pitch on that part of the plate. Especially elevated. Fastball up. We knew that right away. Mislocation. Anything upstairs with a fastball against Brett Lawrie is going to be hit hard.
So a 2-0 lead is now a 3-run deficit for the Angels. Eric Sogard looks at a strike. 4 hits in the inning, and the capper so far. Brett Laurie's 3-run home run is 2nd of the season. Now with 10 RBIs on the year, Sogard lifts one out towards shallow right center field. Mike Trout comes racing in, and the first is in the books. 8 men to the plate. We'll head to the second. Halos down 5-2. To Oakland, top of the 2nd inning. Jared Weaver facing 8 men in the first inning and giving up that 3-run home run to Brett Lawrie to put Oakland on top. Joyce, Cron, and Butera for the Angels here to face Sonny Gray. 6, 7, and 8. Joyce fouls off the first offering, and it's an 0-1 count. Matt snapped an 0 for 26 with a hit in the 8th inning. Sunday's game. 140 with 3 doubles and 5 runs batted in. Upstairs.
Boy, coming into this game with these 2 pitchers on the mound, you expected a low-scoring game. 7 runs combined in the first inning.
Three infielders on the right side with Joyce at the plate. He's jammed and fights one into shallow left center field. That'll fall in for a hit. Leadoff single for Matt.
Boy, coming into this game, Cole Calhoun, Matt Joyce, Albert Pujols combined 5 for 45 against Sonny Gray. Calhoun with a walk, Pujols with a hit, and now Matt Joyce with a hit.
So you're saying it's just going to be one of those nights?
Yeah. This go against the norm. Like I said, nothing else matters. Little Metallica. That was our key to the game. So far, that's come into play.
Drone looks at a fastball that misses in. 4-hit game on Sunday, a career high for him. He's raised his overall batting average to 275, has a home run, 5 runs batted in, 3 singles and a double Sunday. Hits this one out toward right center field. Reddick moving over. He's got to beat. Puts it away for out number 1. All right, folks, next Tuesday, celebrate Cinco de Mayo when the Angels take on the Mariners at 7:05. Fans in attendance will receive a sombrero, courtesy of State Farm, and attempt to set another Guinness World Record. Purchase your tickets today at the Angel Stadium ticket office or online at angels.com.
Say that again.
Sombrero.
Ah, nice.
Oh, we see a lot of Angel fans here in the Bay Area. The red, yours huddled over by the first base area. Tara takes downstairs.
So far, the Angels hitters have done a pretty good job of laying off that fastball that Sonny Gray will throw at the knees. It sinks. Very difficult to square up that type of movement downstairs with 93 to 96 on his fastball.
Joyce takes off, and I believe that was a hit and run. That was one of the oddest swings you will ever see in a hit-and-run count. Either that or he was just trying to protect. Either way, Joyce gets thrown out. 2 outs.
Yeah, anytime you see a hitter looking back in, it's a hit and run is on. Sogard applies the tag. Votis had a tough time throwing out would-be base stealers. It's 9 of 11 stolen base attempts have been successful against him. Looking back, unable to make contact. Butera, easy thrown out.
Two balls and a strike. Bases cleared, 2 down. So it's fouled back and out of play.
When as a hitter, you just have to try to make contact any way you can. Break a ball inner half. Tried his best to make contact. That's a difficult pitch. Back up curveball inside.
He lines this
he
one
wanted that pitch out over the plate.
Yep.
It's like almost trying to hit a knuckleball the way he was trying to swing at that one on a hit and run.
That's not the way you want to make the highlight reels, but I got a feeling that might get replayed a couple times. That's just the way things are nowadays.
Back up breaking ball. Yeah, and you're just trying to put that ball on the ground.
Quick visit to the mound. Stephen Vogt.
But Drew will come back and say, hey, did you see that line drive I hit up the middle?
That's right.
He hit that ball well.
Yeah, he did. Givatello. That's one off the end of the bat.
And like Davis is saying, I got a couple hits that way the other day at home against you guys. Remember, he had 3 hits, all of them off the end of the bat.
Yeah, he had some odd swings, but they all seemed to work out for him. Givatello hitting .302 on the season. 3 doubles, a home run, 8 runs batted in. Bow, nice swing. Right back up the middle. You talked about the last time the Angels faced Sonny Gray, that you You can't try to pull him. He's got to be a guy that you force yourself to go back up the middle.
And force him to elevate his fastball or his off-speed pitches. He's already given up more hits in this game that we're only here in the second inning than he did the entire game last time. I know he gave up 2 hits in 7 innings pitched. 5 hits already in this game. With a chance with one swing here from Cole Calhoun to tie it up.
Cole drew a walk and scored in the first inning.
Most difficult thing to do as a pitcher is come back against the very team you just faced and you dominated the last time out. It just plays into your mind. Always felt you had to make adjustments. Well, you don't. They didn't hit you there, your last start. Why do you feel the need to do so? But you always change things up.
But I thought starting pitchers were like the smartest creatures on earth.
And the best athletes too. There's no doubting that.
0-1. Just buried that breaking ball. No balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, chased a high fastball, foul tip, and then a breaking ball in the dirt. Now you're seeing a hitter that hadn't had any success against a pitcher. See if he can somehow fight one off himself here now. Put it in play. Use that middle of the field.
2 outs and runners at first and second. Butera at second, Giavotella at first. Blocked by Vogt. Another breaking ball. That's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Halo scored 2 runs in the first inning. And Oakland responded with 5 in the bottom of the first. 2 RBI single by Josh Reddick. That was followed by the 3-run home run off the bat of Brett Lawrie. Cole chops one to the right side. Eric Sogard has it on 2 hops. The Angels are done here in the second. We're heading to the bottom of the second inning with Oakland leading at 5-2. Coming up for the A's to face Jared Weaver. It'll be Gentry, Fold, and Simeon. Already 9 hits combined between these 2 ball clubs. Halos with 5, Oakland with 4. Oakland's 4 coming in the first. Gentry looks at a strike. At the start tonight in left field. 3 for 27 to start the season. 1 RBI. Angels saw Mark Canha, the Rule 5 selection, start all 4 games at the Big A's. This one's out toward left center field. Trout is there. 1 down.
Well, in the way the offense is swinging the bats against Sonny Gray, if you're Jerry Weaver right now, okay, you gave up that 5 runs in the bottom of the first. Just forget about that. Keep those Oakland A's hitters off balance the rest of the way. Allow the offense to get right back in, because you were just one swing away from Cole Calhoun of tying the game. So that's the mindset. I saw Dave Stewart many years here with Oakland, a very good pitcher. He gave up 3-4 runs in the first inning. Next minute you look up, he's in the 8th inning, and still an opportunity to win. That's the mindset you have to have as a starting pitcher.
Sam folds 0 for 1 with a fly ball to right.
Well, he takes the first pitch almost every time. He's only swung at 1 first pitch. 77 at bats.
Joe Mauer, school of hitting.
I guess that might be your best pitch to hit, though. The first pitch,
right.
Fastball. I could see, working counts here and there, especially from the leadoff spot. But you're only a leadoff batter once, beginning part of the game, and you fall behind 1-2. Then you got to deal with pitcher's best pitch. Generally, it's going to be some sort of breakable, curveball, or a slider. You can expand the strike zone.
Reaches for this one. That is a fair ball. Albert taking himself 2 outs. I'll bring up Marcus Semien. And folks, the Halos will take on the Astros on May the 8th at 7:05. The first 20,000 adults in attendance will receive a Mother's Day tote, courtesy of Farmer John. Purchase tickets today at Angels Stadium ticket office or online at angels.com.
That's right, Mother's Day right around the corner.
Right around the corner. 10th, right?
Yes.
Semien, an infield base hit. Start off the rally for Oakland in the first. Local product, like the Cal. Teammates with the Mark Cal. 2-1 pitch. This is fouled off. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, he tried to stay back as long as he could on that curveball. That one out of the strike zone at 67 miles an hour. Fastball away may get him. He can throw a hard slider away.
Chopper to short. Ibar has it. Weaver responds with a 1-2-3 second. We'll head to the third. Trout, Pujols, and Freese coming up for the Halos. Now 5-2.
And with Mike Trout coming to the plate, amongst the leaders as far as runs scored, second is one behind. Adam Jones is off to a quick start for the Orioles, and Mike Moustakas is really swinging the bat well for Kansas City, tied with Trout. Trout's led the category in the last 3 years as far as runs scored in the American League. Incredibly impressive start of a career for Mike Trout.
Yep. Moustakas has thrived in that 2 spot in the order. This one pulled foul. It's no balls, 2 strikes on Trout.
Well, you remember a couple years ago how Torrey Hunter responded at number 2 spot, hitting behind Trout, in between Trout and Pujols. A lot of times you get a lot more fastballs when you're in that 2 spot in the lineup, because you usually have speed to the top and a real good hitter behind you.
Trout 0 for 1 as he hit a fly ball to center field his first time up. No strikeouts, 1 walk, 5 hits allowed for Sonny Gray through 2 innings. Just a little bit low and in. Evens up the count at 2-2. Cool night here, 59 degrees at first pitch. Very little breeze. Trout fouls this one off to the right.
Sonny Gray got away with a hanging slider.
Flags. Good old Mount Davis to the left. Check swing, he went around, and there's the first strikeout for Sonny Gray. First out here in the 3rd.
He made an adjustment on that slider. The pitch before wasn't real good, but that one was solid at 85 to get a swing and miss. Stayed on top of that well, and Trout could not hold off to clearly cross the plate.
Halos last year just 3-6 here at the Coliseum against Oakland. Their first tonight of this season. Albert with an infield base hit going off the glove of Simeon. Scored a run as he pops this one up. Not in front of the off-speed pitch. Sonny Gray calling for it. 2 outs.
Don't see that too often. Usually a pitcher's called off by a 3rd baseman or 1st baseman, but the former quarterback back in his high school days calls it, makes the play. I said, superior athletes.
Here we go. Base is clear for David Freese. 32 years of age today.
Well, Cincinnati Reds same day. Barry Larkin, Tom Browning, teammate of mine.
Freeze chops one to short. Simeon over to Davis. Gray returns the favor as he retires the Halos in order. We'll head to the bottom of 3rd. Oakland still on top. Two more here against the Athletics, and it's a weekend series in San Francisco against the Giants before returning home for a nice little home stand. 3 against Seattle, 4 against Houston, and 2 against the Rockies. Stephen Vogt will look at the strike. Vogt, Butler, and Davis here in the third for Oakland, up 5-2. Vogt with a single and a run scored in the first inning.
This one back. It was that no-seam fastball. They tries to run inside. It's a left-handed batter. Even though it was 81, he was late on it because of that late movement. And it got the inner part of the plate, or at least started the inner part of the plate, and ran away. Consistent improvement in the batting average for Vogt. That's a good job as far as not chasing breaking balls down. He will occasionally chase the high fastball.
Missed downstairs, full countdown.
So you see Butera was almost setting up behind Vogt. Make sure he threw that no-seam fastball that would run and get the inside corner. Good movement, but just ran out of the strike zone.
Payoff on the way now. Breaking ball, and that is popped up on the first base side. Albert coming down the line. One away.
It's a good sequence after a fastball in, threw a slider in, and got the pop up to Albert Pujols. He's 6 for 32 in his career versus Weaver for Butler.
Hit by a pitch. His first plate appearance. At that point, loaded the bases up. Mike Davis came up and popped out for the second out. Then Weaver faced back-to-back hitters. They jumped on the first pitch. Reddick a double to right center. And then Laurie, the 3-run home run. That's how quickly that 2-0 lead evaporated in the first. Butler skies one out towards center field. Towering shot. Mike Trout back on the warning track now and will make the catch. 2 down.
Well, that's the part of the field where a mistake can be kept in the yard. Right up against the wall. Trout made the play against Billy Butler. Boy, right down the heart of the plate. And all you can hope for is that it's that part of the field. Started drifting back. Not towards the end of the bat, but still hit well. Had a chance to keep that ball in the yard in center field.
1-0 count on Davis.
You see the frustration right there on that pitch. Trying to run that no-seam fastball inside. Missed in the dirt. Feel for the fastball, so important for Weaver.
Giavatella out in shallow right field with Davis at the plate. Mentioned he popped out in the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. Pulled foul, 1-2. Since the home run, Weaver's retired the next 6 in a row. Reddick on deck. We'll make that 7 in a row. First strikeout of the night for Weaver. And another 1-2-3 frame. 3 in the books at Oakland. Oh, he's on top 5-2.
top of the fourth with Eric Ibar leading off against Sonny Gray.
5-2 Oakland. Gray coming off his first 1-2-3 inning, picking up his first strikeout in the third. Ibar's 0 for 1 as he bounced one back to the mound to end the first inning. They're getting 203. 1 double, 5 runs batted in. Good numbers in his career here in this ballpark. 339 career batting average at the O.co.
Well said.
They've done some upgrading here. New scoreboards, right, left, ribbon panels along the sides, baselines. Breaking balls in there for a strike.
Looks good.
1 and 2. Yeah. Really, until that whole thing is decided as far as the Raiders are concerned, they're kind of up in the air now. Pitch outside as to whether or not they're going to, or what their options are. They're limited right now.
You know, Carson's looking
Yeah.
for the Raiders and the Chargers.
Yeah. Golden State's going to move over to San Francisco in a couple of years when that arena's built. Ground ball to the right side. Davis thought about it. To go to Sogard, Gray's covering, and there's out number 1.
And that's why, as a pitcher, anytime the ball's hit to that side of the field, you cover the base, even though the first baseman like Davis unable to make the play. Sogard did. You have to be in position as a pitcher, be able to get to the base and then field that throw from the second baseman. A little different throw than you're accustomed to getting from the first baseman.
Nobody out for Matt Joyce, who singled his first time up. Ben Rubert talked about building 2 stadiums in this lot. One for football, one for baseball. They got enough issues as it is, dealing with 1 stadium and 2 tenants.
Exactly.
So I was thinking about today when I got here watching BP. If the Raiders were to go wherever, Carson or wherever they go, instead of being worried about building a brand new facility, this one's rolled found, it's 0-2. Why not take the money and do a reno of this ballpark, right? Take out that Mount Davis in center field.
It used to have a great view.
Oh, the view. Then you'd have a great little bowl for baseball. You've got the view out there, and obviously upgrade the stadium and the suites and stuff like that, as opposed to building a brand new ballpark. Because obviously that whole San Jose thing is now pretty much dead in the water.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
And unless they Major League Baseball opens up a place maybe like Vegas as a potential reload, you're thinking about right here. And you know what? If you're an Oakland A's fan too, or if you live in the East Bay, well, heck, okay, if the Raiders leave, they're gone, and Golden State's going across over to San Francisco. Got to keep the A's in town, don't you?
You would think so. Just for the community here.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Golden State Warriors, that team's pretty good.
Yeah. I can't believe people are having discussions about MVP.
Steph Curry's the guy.
Joyce takes a called strike 3 on a slow breaking ball, 2 out, second punch out for Gray.
Talked about Weaver's ability to throw his curveball for a strike. Same thing with Sonny Gray. Both of these pitchers, well over 70% of the time they throw a curveball, they'll throw it for a strike.
That's a tight breaking ball too. That's a tough one to read.
The old saying, when you're a pitcher, you throw a very good breaking ball, it's really difficult to make any contact. That's why you try to put yourself in a position where you're in fastball counts to avoid that curveball.
Crow to fly ball to right field in the second inning. Falzalo back and gets Vogt.
Almost looked like he got it in his arm. Thigh and then arm. Right off the thigh and the chest.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider how fast that baseball comes back at you.
Now they call it a chest protector, but all that thing does is really it dulls the pain a little bit.
Yeah, that's not going to.
You still feel it pretty well.
No question.
And the shin guards actually work for the most part. Crone pops it up behind the plate. Stephen Vogt gets rid of the mask. And the Angels go down in order for the second consecutive inning. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth with Oakland leading at 5-2. Cherokee with an EPA estimate 31 highway miles per gallon. Visit Jeep.com for more information. And by AT&T Uverse. More live TV channels on the go than cable. 5-2 Oakland, bottom of the fourth inning. 4 hits for the Athletics. They all came in the first inning, and 5 runs were attached to them. Reddick, Laurie, Sogard face Weaver. Reddick looks at a strike. 2 RBIs, single for Reddick in the first inning. Now with 10 runs batted in, extending his hitting streak to 6 games.
Really, that was the big hit in that inning. Or he hit the home run, but the at bat for Reddick is when you thought Weaver was going to escape a lot of damage in the bottom of the first.
1-2. Lays off. Off speed pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Reddick's hands a little higher, a little closer to his body this season as compared to last. And off to a good start so far this year.
Chops this one. Giavatello. 1 out.
The reason why he's done that, because last year a lot of times he got underneath a lot of pitches. More of an uppercut swing. Hands in this position right now, just trying to hit down on the baseball. More successful as far as hitting more line drives and ground balls.
Also feeling 100% healthy. Obviously a big help. As Brett Laurie steps in, homer on the first pitch he saw first time up as he cuts through the off-speed pitch.
I almost would never throw him a first pitch fastball.
No.
He's up there hacking. And he hits a fastball well.
Second of the season. Now also with 10 RBIs. Lines this one out to center field. 2 down. It'll bring up Eric Sogard, second baseman. 0 for 1. He'll fly a ball to center. Good career numbers against Weaver.
Against the Angels in general. .317 career hitter against the Angels.
Looking ahead to the 5th, the Angels have Butera, Giavitelli, and Calhoun out. It's over to second. Giavitelli has it. So make that 10 in a row. Retired by Weaver. Certainly settled down. We will head to the top of the 5th inning with the Angels down 5-2.
And there's definitely clarity where he's going, and we definitely wish him well. First, as a person, make sure he's getting the help he is. He becomes a whole person. But there's, I don't know if there's some clarity on Josh's side about his teammates and the support they gave him, and him not acknowledging that he let them down. I think that's a big part of this, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, and I think it's a tough situation. You mentioned the clarity right now. Now Josh, a member of the Texas Rangers, but he also wanted, Mike Scioscia did, Josh to be able to reach out to his teammates and just let them know what's going on, what happened. That he wanted to thank his teammates. He wanted to hear Josh thank his teammates for the support his teammates with the Angels gave him during his time wearing that uniform. Didn't feel that was conveyed a whole lot.
Butera goes down swinging for the first down here in the 5th. You know, to your point about the guys in the clubhouse supporting Josh, I mean, we even saw it especially over the last couple of weeks. It's been a constant since it was announced that he was going to have the shoulder surgery and not going to be in spring training. You heard guys, obviously because they had to deal with it with the media answering the questions, but it seemed like everything that came out of the clubhouse was fully supportive of Josh. Absolutely open arms, welcome him back. And
remember, I went and met him and saw him for lunch when we were in Houston last road trip.
At the end of the day, to be perfectly honest with you, none of us really know what went down, whether it was Josh and the Angels, Josh and Scioscia, Josh in the clubhouse. That's something that is behind closed doors, and it's all speculation. If you think you know, you really don't, unless you were in those conversations. Giavitelli lifts one out to right. Reddick is there to put it away for round number 2. But at the end of the day, all you can do is just say, all right, best of luck. That's all you can do. Could the Angels have used someone like Josh if he was healthy and helped this offense? Absolutely. Didn't work out that way. And so now you've got to deal with the 25 guys you have here, the 40-man roster you have, plus the guys you have in the minor leagues and or whatever trades if the Angels decide to do something. And, hey, get the rest of 2015 to go get them.
Now you just move forward from this point. This is your roster. And this is the team you feel should and will compete for the AL West title once again.
Cole fouling it back. Sonny Gray, just like Weaver's kind of locked in.
Yeah, remember this happened last time around. Sonny struggled up to about the third inning, and then all of a sudden he just got locked in.
He's retired 9 in a row. Breaking ball in the air down the left field line. Long run for Gentry. Good speed, but he's not going to get there.
A lot of foul territory here.
The never give up ballpark.
No. Well, if you're a corner infielder or a corner outfielder, you don't really need to do a whole lot of sprint work before the game. You're going to get it during the course of the game.
No doubt. Cole went around according to Angel Hernandez, so it's the 4th strikeout for Sonny Gray, and the Angels go down in order. Way to the bottom of the 5th, still 5-2 Oakland. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Los Angeles Angels. Gentry trying to bunt his way on. Takes ball 1. Boy, it looked like he went around.
I thought certainly close to a strike also.
Gentry, Fold, and Simeon 9-1-2 for Oakland. Leaving up the count. Gentry, a fly ball to center, his first time up. Looks at a strike.
66-mile-an-hour curveball.
Pulled foul. Speedy outfielder. Second season with the Athletics. Played 94 games last year with the A's at 254. Drives this one out to center field. Trout moving to his left will put it away for the first out. Hey folks, celebrate Mother's Day with the Angels when they take on the Astros on May the 10th at 12:35. The first 20,000 adults in attendance will receive a Mother's Day scarf courtesy of Farmer John. Purchase tickets at Angels Stadium ticket office or angels.com.
Boy, I'm going to be set for Mother's Day.
What's that?
The tote bag and the scarf.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good to go
Mother's
now.
Day weekend.
Yes.
No need to spend any cash.
No.
Now. Solid.
Yes.
No giveaway. Fold takes a fastball for a strike.
And another first pitch taken by Sam Fold.
Albert has it. 2 down.
Second time he's grounded out to Albert Pujols unassisted.
Two up and 2 down to Marcus Semien, the shortstop, coming up. Angels with 2 runs in the top of the first inning. 2 RBI single by David Freese. So then Oakland scored 5 in the bottom of the first, and that has been it. Halo started a little 2-out rally in the second inning, but Cole grounded out to end it.
They had 3 hits in that inning.
Ricky Ball, line to left.
Semien stays back pretty good on a breaking ball, especially when it's on the inner half of the plate. Saw that at the Big A.
Snaps a string of 12 straight, retired by Jared. He'll work from the stretch for the first time since the first inning.
Stayed back well, the toe tap, and then down and got the bat head out on a slow breaking ball, inner half of the plate. Not be surprised to see Semien go early in the count here with Vogt at the plate.
Two balls and no strikes on Vogt. 1 for 2 game for him. A single with a run scored in the first.
One thing we know about Oakland so far this year, they've been swinging the bats well, and their starters have thrown the ball well, but their bullpen has struggled. It's up to Weaver to keep this game close.
Semien takes off. The pitch is down low. The third out of second and out of time. A stolen base for Semien. That's his second of the year.
Pretty good jump, straight steal. Slides in the old-fashioned way, feet first. Pretty quick throw. That was pretty close on the tag.
This one pulled towards second. Giavotella has it. That'll do it for Oakland here in the bottom of the 5th. 5 complete at the O.co Coliseum of the A's. Still lead at 5-2.
cars that deliver inspired performance. And by Heffernan Insurance Brokers, insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com.
Top of the 6th inning here in Oakland, 5-2 Athletics on a crisp, cool night for baseball. And a lot of offense early on, but both starting pitchers settled things down very quickly. Sonny Gray's been on a pretty good roll here of late. Just like Weaver's retired last 10 in a row. Weaver got to 12 in a row before the single by Simeon. Mike Trout will look at a strike. Trout, Pujols, and Freese here in the 6th inning against Gray. Was 4 strikeouts and 1 walk.
All of a sudden, he's got a real good feel for his breaking ball, both his slider and curveball, and throwing them both for strikes.
I mean, that's a pretty good indication right there when you get someone like Trout taking that type of a hack, how good of a breaking ball it is, how tight of a breaking ball it is.
And anything downstairs, generally, Trout has a good pass at it, but not on that one.
1-2. Mike's 0 for 2 with a fly ball to center, shallow center. And a strikeout that happened in the 3rd. First punch out for Gray on the night. Called strike 3. That pitch looked like it missed in off the plate, but Angel Hernandez brings up Trout, 1 away.
Yeah, it was definitely off the inside corner. Close pitch. Vogt setting up off the corner. Vogt brings it back in, but that was off the inside corner of Fox tracks.
Albert 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored back in the 1st inning. Popped out to Gray. Last time up, got him on an off-speed pitch. Sonny Gray, 25 years of age, Smyrna, Tennessee, 1st round pick in 2011, the 11th overall selection out of Vanderbilt. Pointed out earlier, high school quarterback, very good quarterback at Smyrna. These teams at back-to-back state championships. This bounce foul. 1-2 now. There's the 1-2. Albert flips one out to right field. Reddick coming on. 2 outs.
Reddick playing a little bit more shallow in right field, especially behind in the count. Albert is trying to make contact, was able to come in on that fly ball. Different points of the count. If Albert's ahead of the count, he's going to be playing deeper. He came in, especially with 2 strikes on him, was able to track that ball down.
Freese takes low. David, a 1 for 2 game. Team leader in RBIs now with 15. Two balls and no strikes. Hindsight, obviously 2020, right? You can always say shoulda, coulda, woulda, but go back to that David Freese base hit. It brought in 2 runs with 1 out of the 1st inning. Would have loved to have seen David just stay at first base. The throw from Fold was high, and Pujols was easily going to score. He had a good jump from second base.
Yeah, there's times to try to draw that throw, that cutoff man, to be able to cut it off and throw it towards a base second or third, depending on the scenario. But with 1 out, I think you just stay right at first base. You know you had a great at bat. Very tough pitch he hit up the middle to drive in 2 runs. It would have forced Sonny Gray to throw more pitches to get through that inning. And you never know, you could even score more while he was still struggling to get through that top.
And after he did get thrown out, It took one pitch to Ibar to bounce one back to the mound, and the inning was over.
We talked about their bullpen hasn't been as consistent this year, so you want to get that pitch count up if you can.
Yeah. Bob Melvin, the skipper. Three-two on the way. Freeze bounces one left side. Brett Laurie cuts it off, spins around. Low throw out. Davis digs it out. David Freeze retired, and the Angels go down in order. They make that 13 straight. Now retired by Sonny Gray. We'll head to the bottom of the sixth. Oakland still up by the score of 5-2. Nope. You're going to take a look at this apparently.
Yeah, he wanted to see if his foot was off the base. I think that's what Mike Scioscia wants to see.
No, still only 5-2. All right. So they're not going to challenge it. 5-2 Oakland as we head to the bottom of the sixth. Jared Weaver facing Billy Butler to lead off the bottom of the sixth inning with the Angels trailing at 5-2. Butler, Davis, and Reddick. Yays here in the sixth. Butler hit by a pitch and a run scored to the first. A fly ball to deep center field in the third inning. Trout all the way to the wall. Puts him 0 for 1. Oakland's DH came in batting .325. First season of a 3-year deal. Shot in the offseason.
He'll be swinging
and developed by the Royals.
He'll be swinging here 3-0.
3-1.
It's a get over fastball at 81 from Weaver.
Butler tried to wait.
67-mile-an-hour curveball. He's thrown one at 66 tonight.
Chopper to the right side. Butler jammed.
Or a slider.
That is out number 1. Brings up Ike Davis. Hey, you can follow the Angels all season long with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment, at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. At MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet today. 1 out. Nobody on, and Ike coming to the plate. Davis, first baseman, popped out of the first, struck down in the third. The only punch out for Weaver.
Still remember him pitching in that game at the Big A. He was rushing up there in 86, 87, 88.
Professional debut as a pitcher. 1-2-3-8.
His dad was a good pitcher for a lot of years, Ron Davis. Remember very well, especially with the Yankees and the Twins. Got a lot of the plate. Weaver wanted it.
This one out toward left center field. Trout was shading him that way. Drops. Two outs, bases cleared. Josh Reddick coming up, the right fielder. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. The Angels have stranded 2. Oakland with 5 runs, 5 hits, no errors. They've left 1 on base. Reddick looks at the strike.
And since that hit on a curveball first pitch, Weaver started Reddick out with fastballs. First pitch.
Top part of the strike zone. Reddick doesn't like the call.
And we were throwing a lot more of those no-seam fastballs, catching the inside corner tonight than what we've seen in a long, long time.
We touched on that the last game he started. Even if it's just a couple of times to keep those lefties honest, as this one's ripped out to right, and Reddick was looking for it. He pounds one out to right, and that is 6-2. Tried to go back-to-back with that same pitch. 2-out home run as Reddick hits his second of the season.
In the first pitch, a lot of times when you throw that either no-seam or two-seam fastball inside, if you go back inside the next time, it'll be more of a four-seam cut fastball, because then they're looking in like that. But if it cuts in, it's more difficult to get the bat head out. But you came back-to-back no-seam fastballs, and this time he was ready. Turns on it, hits it out. The second home run. 3rd RBI of the game.
Second time this year that Weaver's allowed 2 home runs in a game. Two balls, no strikes on Brett Laurie. All 6 runs for Oakland coming with 2 outs. To 1. So right before that pitch was delivered to Reddick. This one's hit out to left field. It's playable for Joyce. Talk about that the next time Weaver's on the mound. We will head to the 7th here in Oakland. 6-2 A's.
Ibar playing his 1,000th career game at shortstop, fourth most in Angels history. Top three, Jim Fregosi, Dick Schofield, and Gary DiSarcina. All-star last year, Gold Glover back in 2011, although I thought he should have been in consideration for the Gold Glove last year also. Loves hitting in this yard. Real good numbers in this ballpark. Need to get it started right here. Sonny Gray has really settled in.
Yeah, 13 straight retired by Gray. Eric is grounded out twice, both in the infield, once to Gray and the other to second. Ibar, Joyce, and Crone trying to get something going against the right-hander. One ball, one strike. 83 pitches on the night for Gray, 54 strikes.
Right, and even looking at his mechanics right now, you have a very confident pitcher, smooth with his delivery, and not the norm as far as standing in a full windup, almost like he's in the stretch position to start with, but very compact in his delivery.
Ties up Eric there.
Just no wasted energy. Very good leg kick, and he drives towards the plate, shoulders squared to home plate, eyes on the target. Not a lot of wasted energy. Not a real big guy, but because he drives off his back leg so well, he generates a lot of velocity with his fastball.
Chopper, right side. Sorgar can't get it. It's a leadoff single for Eric Ibar.
Just underneath the glove, Sogard. And outfield grass, well hit by Eric Ibar. Good at bat. Continues to swing the bat well against Gray and here in Oakland.
So man on, nobody out, and Matt Joyce up. Bouncer foul. Joyce 1 for 2, singled in the second, struck out looking in the fourth. Good lead for Ibar at first. Joyce pulls this one to second. Sogard to Simeon for one, to relay back to first in time. Double play. 2 down.
Well played by the middle infield of the Oakland A's. Sogard, a good feed to Simeon, who has a very strong throwing arm at that shortstop position. Completes a 4-6-3 double play. It's all about that feed from your second baseman, especially with somebody coming in, sliding in. A good feed elevated enough where you can get rid of the baseball quickly to avoid the takeout at second.
Trouble bat. Base is clear. The Angels look like they're starting some action in their bullpen. Erosion. First man up. One ball, one strike. Thrown 0 for 2 with a fly ball to right and a pop-up. Georgia probably the guy that sent back down. So Matt Shoemaker's accurate off the breathing list. Sogard makes the catch. Shallow right center field, and the Angels are done here in the seventh. Oakland still on top 6-2.
Vinny Bastano talking with Joe Smith, talking about different grips and different arm angles, especially with your wrist, to create movement. There's always that way you learn down in the bullpen, the grip, four-seam fastball, what you can do with your wrist to manipulate, whether it's that rising fastball or the sinking, running fastball. That's the thing about when you're down in the bullpen, especially when you get a chance to talk to veterans around there, whether it's Joe Smith or Houston Street. You can learn different pitches to be able to be effective in the big leagues.
1 pitch, 1 out to start the bottom of the 7th for Jared Weaver. And, of course, Vinny and Joe, former teammates with the Cleveland Indians.
I learned my changeup just talking to other pitchers on our staff. Mike McNanty showed me his changeup, and when I just started playing catch in the outfield, especially with the changeup, there's so many different grips.
Yeah.
You experiment with it, playing catch. Before long, you take it into the game.
Gentry, the 9th place hitter, is 0 for 2. 2 fly balls to Trout in center field. Last time Weaver was on the mound, we were talking about the home run to Reddick, and right before he hit that, you mentioned that he's throwing more no-seam fastballs tonight. Probably the most we've seen in any one game this year. This one's grounded to Ibar. Got to hurry with Gentry's speed, and boy, heads up play by Gentry going into a dive to avoid the tag. Throws on the bag, they get him, so it should be an error on Eric. See how they rule it.
Slow roller, knowing that Gentry runs well. Got underneath his throw, high throw. And Albert went back to touch the bases to make sure that Gentry barely touched it with his hand, it looked like.
Yeah. So they'll bring up Sam Fold. But back to my point that we touched on the last start for Weaver was, you know, to a left-handed batter, if he could just show it one time, to kind of just put it in a mindset, as opposed to, you know, years past, he used to throw that a lot and would lock, even if the guys knew it was coming, he would lock him up because he did have the neutralizer of the little cut fastball.
Exactly. That's so important. We always talk about that two-seam fastball that runs in, pitch that Greg Maddux really made, everyone's starting to use that pitch, but the reason why Maddux was so effective with that pitch is because he threw that cut fastball, four-seam fastball, to keep you honest. Because if you throw enough of those fastballs that run out over the plate, especially against a left-handed batter, that's the pitch they're going to drive out of the ballpark. So you have to still throw that four-seamer in to give that illusion that the ball is going to be cutting in. Then they'll take that two-seamer on the inside corner.
And Jared's gone to be more of an off-speed type of guy. He's had to because of the velocity's come down. But you go back 2, 3, 4 years ago, especially facing this Oakland team, when Moss was on the team and so on and so forth, those left-handed batters, how many foul balls did we used to see down the right field line? Guys trying to cheat a little bit and pulling that pitch foul.
So that, what it does, it exposes the outer part of the plate. And Weaver can throw his changeup. Gentry steals
stolen base.
Another base. Is that 19 in a row against the Angels? Big jump once again for Gentry. Gets a hand in there, and Ibar tried to keep the tag applied to him just in case he went off the base. But you still have to throw that four-seam fastball in to be effective, to stay in there with that two-seamer.
Crazy fly ball to left field. Matt Joyce coming in. 2 down. Gentry remains at second. And it's Marcus Semien coming up. Shortstop. 2 for 3 with a couple of singles.
See, that's now 20 straight for Gentry. 20 for 20 against the Angels in his career for Gentry as far as stealing bases.
Bedrosian's ready to go. Mike Scioscia needs him. Cam would be the guy that would be sent down. We talked about it on a break. Shoemaker being activated off the bereavement list. got the outside corner, according to Angel Hernandez. Right side, Weaver cuts it off, will take it himself, and more than likely done tonight, as that was his 97th pitch of the evening. 7 of the books, 6-2 Oakland. Seven innings tonight, and more than likely done. His previous high for innings pitched in the game this year, 6. He'd done that 3 times. That gave up the 6 earned runs, 5 in the first inning, and then the 6th and final in the 6th inning. It matches the most earned runs he's allowed in the game. Did that in the second start of the season against the Kansas City Royals. Sonny Gray delivers a strike on Drew Butero. 8, 9, and 1 for the Angels here in the 8th inning. Butero 1 for 2 with a single to center in the second inning. Struck out his last time up. Gray now 94 pitches on the night. 4 strikeouts, checked at 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, 6 hits allowed. Sky to shallow center. Sam Fuld coming in. 1 down.
Consistently throwing strikes, using all his pitches, getting a lot of swings off the end of the bat.
Number 12.
It's kind of what we saw in the last start that he had against the Angels. That had one shot, 1 opportunity. The Angels did capitalize for 2 runs, but the A's offense struck for 5 in the first inning with 2 outs. Mentioned earlier, all 6 runs coming with 2 outs. The Rennick home run after Weaver retired Butler and Davis. Another night game tomorrow, day game on Thursday. The Angels will take on the Giants with a night game on Friday, and then back-to-back day games Saturday and Sunday.
Away with a hanging slider on that pitch.
Giavotella goes down swinging for round number 2.
Talked about our Hyundai key for this game to be successful against Oakland. Nothing else matters. find a way to score runs. Certainly looked promising in the first inning, scoring 2 against Sonny Gray. But then Oakland right away responds for 5 against Weave. And then Sonny Gray has settled in just like he did last start at home at the Big A.
Calhoun with a walk, a ground down, and a punch out. He's 0 for 2.
%68 strikes in this game for Sonny Gray. Again, that first inning struggled, but settled in. Look at that life on his fastball at the knees. Consistently throws that fastball with running action. Weaver settled down himself before the home run by Reddick.
Bedrosian on the mound in the Angels pen. He'll be pitching in the bottom of the 8th. Trout on deck. 1 ball, 1 strike on Cole. Beginning of a 6-game road trip for the Angels. It's Cole. Now tips that one, 1-2. Foul at the plate. One, 2 again to Cole. That was inside. Trout on deck. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. A's fans wanting to strike out, getting on Angel Hernandez. Pitch missed in off the plate. Cole gets jammed, pops one up down the line. Long run for Eric Sogard. Still going over into foul territory. Makes the little hop and the grab. We will head to the bottom of the 8th, 6-8. Mercury Insurance, on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast, free quote and see how much you can save. And by Hyundai. Great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
Cam Drozian on the mound now for the Angels against Steve Vogt.
It's our in and out. Who's in, who's out. Jared Weaver done after 7 innings, 6 runs, 6 hits, 2 home runs, a strikeout, 1 hit batter. Cam pitching in his second game, 2 innings so far, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. Facing Vogt, Butler, and Davis here in the 8th. He's fouled back. Oakland has action in their bullpen as well. Evan Scribner now getting ready for the A's.
And more than likely, Sonny Gray done now at this point. The Trojans had a good life on his fastball this season so far.
Line and just beyond the reach of Eric Ibar to center field. So Vogt picks up his second hit of the night. Leadoff single to start the 8th.
Well, he stays back well on a breaking ball.
Up comes Billy Butler. Hey, stick around after the last out. The Angels Live post game presented by your SoCal Mazda dealers. Alex Curry and Jose Mota will break it down for you. Hope is that they will have some good news. The Angels are able to battle back against Evan Scribner. But it's been a tough go for the Angels offense tonight against the young right-hander. Butler 0 for 2. By a pitch back in the first inning. He's also hit a fly ball to deep center and ground out in the 6th.
Bullpen ERA this year for Oakland, which has always been one of their strong points, 4.29.
Pulled over to third. Freeze hasn't. Fires the second for 1. The relay back to first in time. It's a double play. 2 outs.
Hit well by Butler. And the feed. The old inter-neighborhood play at second base. Giavitello avoids a slide. Stephen Vogt to complete a 5-4-3 double play. Well played by Freeze. A good feed over the Giavitello at second also.
Davis looks at a fastball for a strike. He's had an 0 for 3 game so far. Third game that Bedrosian's pitched in his brief big league career here in this ballpark. Got by Butera and hit Angel Hernandez. 3 balls, no strikes. Three and 1. And he walked him. 2-out walk. First one issued to Oakland tonight.
Right fielder.
So Rennick will bat. He's had a nice game. 2 for 3 with a single and a home run, 3 RBIs. Eleven runs batted in on the season now. Butera is going to go out. This is out of the strike zone. Hey, stay tuned later tonight on the postgame show for the Business of Sports, brought to you by AutoNation.com and powered by AutoNation Toyota Irvine.
In that conversation from Butera is to make sure you finish off your pitch, not following through at the end, bending the back, out over the front leg for Bedrosian.
3 balls and no strikes, so back-to-back hitters. After getting 2 outs on the double play ball by Butler. Can't fall behind. Brett Laurie on deck, the third baseman. Not wasting a whole lot of time either. He just gets right back on the mound.
Full count. Well, you see that light. That's a fastball count. And late on a fastball.
Pujols playing behind Davis at first with a lefty up. 3-2. Fouls it off, got jammed. Halos in the 9th inning have Trout, Pujols, and Freese due up. Sky to right. Cole Calhoun. And we'll head to the 9th here at the Coliseum. Evan Scribner coming on to finish it off for Oakland with the Angels down 6-2. Playoff action plus highlights on tonight's MLB games. You can see Fox Sports 5 tonight at 11 p.m. on Fox Sports 1 or see it simulcast right here on Fox Sports West. Right-hander Evan Scribner on the bump for Oakland, taking over for Sonny Gray, who lasted 8 innings tonight, 2 runs, 6 hits, 6 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Scribner will be facing 2, 3, and 4 for the Halos. 8 games this year, a 1.59 ERA.
Scribner fastballs 87-92. Slider, very good slider and changeup.
Trout 0 for 3 with a fly ball to center, 2 strikeouts. Angels certainly happy that Sonny Gray is no longer in the game. Looking to mount a rally here in the 9th inning. Trout looks to the strike.
Talking to Billy Butler before the game. And they had a tough series against the Astros. Each time it was the bullpen that gave it up for the Oakland A's. That sharp slider he has.
Yeah, bullpen ERA, I think you pointed out, 4.29. The starters have been pretty good. Starters ERA for Oakland at 3.08. check swing foul. High fastball. Goes down swinging. First down here tonight. Off speed pitch.
And a big curveball, 12-6 break. Doesn't throw a lot of them. Trout unable to make contact with that big curveball.
So 1 out, bases clear for Pujols. 1 for 3 game for Albert. A single back in the first. Up over the high fastball in. Scribner spent the bulk of the season last year in AAA. Did pitch in 13 big league games. Albert goes down swinging. So back-to-back strikeouts for Evan Scribner. 2 outs here in the ninth. The Angels down to the last out.
Another good breaking ball. Great location once again.
So David Freese up 1 for 3. 2 RBI single back in the first inning.
And that was a good piece of hitting, really. That was a pretty good pitch by Sonny Gray. David Freese went back up the middle.
David's up the count at a ball and a strike. Sonny Gray looking to go 3-0 on the season, while Weaver will drop to 0-3. 1-1. Gray's a swing and a miss, but an off-speed pitch.
Oh, he's got a real good feel for his curveball.
Yeah, he does.
The longest Weaver has gone without picking up a W to start a season in his career. Usually when you see some pitcher will throw a high fastball like that, it generally means he's going to come back with that big curveball 12-6 break.
Evan Scribner just strikes out the side. And the Halos drop the opening game of the series by the final of 6-2.
Boy, he started out so promising against Sonny Gray, scoring 2 runs in the first inning. You feel pretty comfortable with your at-bats. Next thing you know, Oakland, especially with that big swing from Reddick. First pitch swing gets a curveball, and then Laurie hits a home run also on a first pitch fastball. So jumping and being more aggressive than you normally